Hello, this is Marita Renee Rain coming to you again with a video, a spiritual video. This one is about self-acceptance as the basis of self-affirmation. And in the dictionary it says affirmation, the act of affirming or the state of being affirmed, assertion. And number 2 says something declared to be true, a positive statement or judgment. The self that we are affirming is defined in Wikipedia as the following. The self can be considered that being which is the source of consciousness, the agent responsible for an individual's thoughts and actions, and or the substantial nature of a person which endures and unifies consciousness over time. Now I'm going to speak in my own words. It is easy to affirm that we have a body. It has substance and we can feel it and see it. But what about our inner self? It too is always with us, often babbling away like a bubbling brook of thoughts. The French philosopher René Descartes, I don't know how to pronounce that, said, "I think, therefore I am." One could also say, "I feel and experience, therefore I am." In the 1950s, In the 1950s, the Reverend William H. Borders wrote the following poem, and Reverend Jesse Jackson quoted it on Sesame Street in 1971. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be young, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be small, but I am somebody. I may have made mistakes, but I am somebody. My clothes are different, my face is different, my hair is different, but I am somebody. I am black, brown, or white. I speak a different language, but I must be respected, protected, never rejected. I am God's child. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody became the rallying cry of the Black Civil Rights Movement. Later, James Brown sang, "Say it loud, I'm black and proud." Why are we somebody? Because we each have God within us, the divine guest, and we are made in God's likeness. Jesus said, "Before Abraham was, I am." He was speaking of the eternal soul, the Christ, the Atman within him. We have that eternal soul in each of us. It has lived countless lives and it originated in the bosom of God, the Mother Father. Jesus was much more aware of his soul than most of us are of ours. Jesus knew who he was when he was getting beaten and spit on by the Romans. Some of us, however, have been beaten and spit on and have lost the sense of ourselves as being precious and full of dignity. With time, you can get that back. It actually comes from your deep self with a capital S, which has its roots in God. Each person was made in the image and likeness of God, not only our bodies, but our inner selves. Because of this, we have inherent worth and are priceless, far beyond the costliest ruby, diamond, or gold ornament. Our worth may be secret. Others may not know about it. That is because it is spiritual. Our worth is private and hidden between ourselves and God. If we seek God and let ourselves become the true hero in our own journey, Christ says, "I will also give him a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to him who receives it." Revelations 2:17. How can we affirm both our outer selves, our egos, and our deepest inner selves, our souls? By seeing ourselves as being important because of the Holy One within us. Each person was put on earth for a reason, to be a unique container for God, or an aspect of God. Therefore, lift up your heads, have hope and faith, and feel good about yourself. A healthy ego is important, but it is also good to look deeper, beyond your ego, to God within you. This is why each of us is so important, because of God within us, in bearing the image of God. Affirm your significance by seeking God and trying to live for Him and using your talents diligently. Banish self-put-downs and always carry yourself with dignity. If you need forgiveness, ask God to forgive you and then forgive yourself. Start over again. Take good care of yourself and help others. If you are having trouble with a bad habit that hurts yourself or others, seek help. Honor God in yourself and in others. These are all ways to affirm yourself, your being. That bubbling brook of thoughts within us is also part of God. Within our ongoing thoughts and feelings, God is expressed, both the lower, darker regions of God on earth and at times the highest Godhead. When I say that, I mean God is not lower or darker or whatever in the bad sense of the word. Dark. This is a good sense of the word dark and a bad sense. But God within us is He's in us regardless of how we are, and we express God in our own ways. And sometimes we can express the highest Godhead. This is also why we are precious. All of ourselves are parts of God. Some of our more wretched thoughts or feelings require self-compassion. This is one way to affirm ourselves and to show compassion to ourselves, because we are the lost God journeying back home to the source God. In other words, we are part of God that is a little bit disconnected from our source, but through Jesus we can be connected to the source of our lives, which is God. It's not always easy to have compassion on ourselves or our thoughts if we are being judgmental towards ourselves. Krishna says to look at ourselves as being moved by nature's forces within us, which are parts of God. Not that we don't have a will that can choose by God's grace to do something or not do something, but we need to let go of self-blame and shame when we see unpleasant or selfish or mean things in ourselves, and be aware and have compassion. It is good to try to practice compassion on ourselves and others, even if we don't necessarily feel it. I recently had an experience where I clearly saw the stream of thoughts and feelings flowing in me as from God, that it wasn't really me, but God. Things seemed very impersonal to me because I saw someone with a capital S, someone else behind me that I was flowing from. God, the source of all creation. We are, and our thoughts are, often wayward sons like the one mentioned in Luke. The father in the story gave his son his inheritance, and his son ran off and squandered it in low-life pursuits. But his father longed for his son's return. When the son found himself so hungry he was about to eat from a pig's trough, he came to himself. He awoke. He realized he would be better off back home as a servant, even if his father wouldn't accept him again as a son. So he started traveling back home. His father saw him a long way off and ran to him and hugged and kissed him. Then he had a wonderful party for him. This is how God feels about us and our thoughts, which are lower parts of himself, the parts that have fallen away from him. When we respond to ourselves or God with compassion and affirmation, we can reunite the two aspects of God, source, that is Father, Mother, God, and Son, which is inner self. The compassion bridges the two. The Hindus say, "Thou art that." They are saying, "You are Brahman." the highest God, the formless former of all things. Not that you have the same power as God, but that your very inner and outer substance is derived from God's very being. Repeat after me, I am somebody. Some affirmations about the self. I am from God and going to God. God lives in me, and so I am important. God lives in me, and so I am important. I am a unique expression of God. I am a friend of God, so I am special. I use the gifts God has given me to serve God and others. No matter what evil things have been said or done to me, I am somebody, and I can start anew. No matter what mistakes I have committed, I can start over with God's help. By faith, I can be ever renewed and resurrected to a new life. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. And thus ends my speech about self-affirmation. And this is Marita Renee saying, have a good day and have a great life, and God bless you, and bye for now.